Speed syndicate busted in Shengshui. Social welfare payments to go up. And security agent killed in a shooting incident at Los Angeles airport. Good evening. Tropical cyclone Rosa will be closest to Hong Kong later tonight. The standby signal number 1 remains in force, but the observatory will consider issuing the strong wind signal number 3 if the weather worsens. Customs officers arrested 4 people yesterday after seizing 54 kilos of cold medicine which could be used to produce methamphetamine. As Rachel Leung reports, the remedy contained a high concentration of a chemical used to produce speed. Social welfare allowances will see across-the-board increases soon. Secretary for Labour and Welfare Matthew Cheung announced that the benefits will be raised by at least 3.4% from February next year. The allowance hike, according to Cheung, will follow the Social Security Assistance Index of Prices, or SSAIP. The Comprehensive Social Security Assistance, or CSSA, the Old Age Allowance and the Disability Allowance will go up by at least 3.7%. The rent allowance ceiling under the CSSA will see the largest jump with an increase of a minimum of 5.9%. Finally, the Old Age Living Allowance will go up by over 3.4%. Cheung explained that because the latest SSAIP data for the month of October hasn't become available yet, the exact increase figures could be higher when they're submitted to LegCo's Finance Committee next month. But Concerned Group member Li Tai-shing says the increase is not enough to ease the financial burden put on low-income groups by high rent, which has forced many to live in subdivided units. And he explains that currently a single person receives only $1,400 in CSSA rent allowance and has to pay on average $1,800 to $1,900 in rent. Earlier this year, the CSSA was raised by 5.2% as part of the annual review of social welfare schemes conducted in accordance with the Social Security Assistance Index of Prices. Chief Executive Leung Chun-ying has agreed to further clarify why the administration chose to deny Hong Kong Television Network a free-to-air TV license. This comes as the government tries to lobby pro-establishment lawmakers to vote against a bid to invoke special LegCo powers to force the government to explain its stance. Diane To reports. A security agent was killed and several others wounded after a man opened fire at a Los Angeles International Airport overnight. The suspect was arrested after a shootout with police, and there are reports his target was the agency which handles security at American airports. Tony Savan reports. The Pakistan government says it summoned the US ambassador to protest a drone strike that killed the head of the Pakistani Taliban. Hamidullah Masood, seen here on the right, is believed to be behind a failed car bombing in New York's Times Square in 2010, as well as brazen attacks inside Pakistan. He's on the FBI most wanted terrorist list, with a $5 million reward for information leading to his capture. The drone attack in a tribal area in Pakistan also killed 4 others. Masood's death comes just days after the Pakistani government announced it started peace talks with the Taliban militants. US Secretary of State John Kerry admitted that some surveillance by the National Security Agency went a bit too far. It's the first time a high-ranking Washington official acknowledged that American snooping abroad may have been overzealous. Meanwhile, NSA whistleblower Edward Snowden is asking for international help to persuade the US to drop espionage charges against him. Alan Buckner reports. Japan and Russia agreed to step up cooperation between their militaries amid regional security concerns. The meeting involving the two countries' foreign and defense ministers was the first high-level diplomatic and security talks between them. They agreed to hold joint military and anti-piracy exercises and establish a defense consultation framework. At a news conference afterwards, Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov said upgrading the defense ties could serve their national interests in resolving terrorism and North Korea's nuclear threats, as well as other regional disputes. The two countries also agreed to continue discussing a territorial dispute that's kept them from signing a peace treaty. And in sports, Nadal, Federer and Djokovic are all through to the semi-finals of the Paris Masters. While Nadal has won a record 8 French Open titles, he's seeking a first at this tournament. Here's Jameson Wong. And tonight's winning Mark 6 numbers are 8, 18, 19, 29, 31, 34 and the extra number is 36. A look at the weather now. Cloudy and windy with a few showers. Temperatures will range between 23 and 26 degrees tomorrow. That's the news. Thanks for watching.